We talking about hip hop, controversies, who got beef, no monster burger. You talking about it, we talking about it. Who am I? I'm just a monster worker. Hip hop.
All right, so Future album, it came out honest. You know, I listened to the album about 3 times. I like it. What's your thoughts about the album?
I wanted to hate it. I was just like, Future for 18 songs. I'm gonna fucking hate this album. There's no reason I'm gonna be able to like it. But I got through it the first time. I was like, yeah, this is the crap that I thought it was gonna be. But I mean, I started listening to it a little bit more, and I was like,
It's cool. It's cool.
but that's just what it is, though. It's just
It was less. I was pleasantly surprised by it, and I was pleasantly surprised by the first album, Pluto. But I think because his style's been co-opted so much in his last couple of years, it's kind of taken off the uniqueness of it. And so like when I first heard Pluto, I was like, wow, like this is crazy. Like I don't know if it's good, but it's interesting. You know. Whereas like this, it was like it's good, but like everyone, and I feel kind of bad for him because like Rich Homie Quan and Migos, like they just kind of took his style and ran with it. And I think Future does it better than they do, but it's not unique anymore.
Yeah, very true. Because Future is not, he's not very talented, like, you know.
In a classic sense?
Yeah, in a classic sense. Thank you for clearing that up. Because he's not like very inclined, like not musically inclined, and he's not able to kind of do these things with his bars and, you know, like with his verses the way that like a Drake would or something like that. So just having that kind of like takes away from it a little bit, but like you said, when he's kind of doing it on his own, it gives him something special. And like on some of it, like he sings offbeat so fucking much that like it kind of pisses me off a little bit. But I'm just like, nah, like nobody else is really doing this. Like I like that about you.
Or like he finishes bars and it's not in the right like.
Exactly.
You know, like he keeps
it's
running
not on
on.
beat. Yeah.
And then too, when you hear it, I mean, you hear the uniqueness. I mean, because it may sound offbeat, but it doesn't have like a.
It doesn't make you like, you don't realize it's offbeat unless you're actually listening.
Right, like it's like when you listen to it, it's like it kind of sounds good to the ear. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
The way he does it.
Yeah, like if Mariah Carey did it, we'd be like, that shit is flawless. Future does it, you're like, what the fuck is this dude doing? Like this dude needs to cut it out. You know what I mean?
His crooning though is kind of like, that really surprised me. I had heard it, you know, when he on Sierra's album. So I kind of was like, I knew he was gonna sing. I already knew before I listened. But I was like, how much is he gonna sing? Is he gonna like Drake on this album? And he kind of did. There were like long periods, I feel like, of him just singing about
like middle of the album.
And you're kind of just like, you accept it because you're like, I mean, this is what he's giving us. But at the same time, you're not. I never felt all the way sold. There were some songs on there that I was like, okay, I'll buy this whole song. Like I really like the Push the Dope song.
Move That Dope.
Oh, that shit is hard.
That got me.
That shit goes so wrong.
That whole time I was in the whole time. But it took me maybe like 2 or 3 listens to get with like My Mama, which like is a track now that I'm like big
Wiz, right?
Yeah, with Wiz.
I really like the title track too, by the way.
Honest. The Blood, Sweat, and Tears also.
Look, I didn't like Blood, Sweat.
Look, Future has like 5 singles already on this album. Only because it got pushed back, but Move That Dope is one.
Move That Dope.
Karate Chop.
Shit.
Yeah.
And then it was another.
We had Karate Chop too.
Karate Chop.
I didn't like that he put the. Because I really like the bonus tracks too.
And I think that was the meat of it.
I think he should have put those in the middle of the album.
In the album.
Very true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, he's got to be low-key pissed at Wayne for Karate Chop too. 'Cause, I mean, that's a great song, but Wayne, with one line, kind of changed the discourse of that song.
But even after that, the song was banned from maybe a couple of radio stations, but it was still like the same.
Yeah, but now it's like, because they blurted out the line, and it's like.
Tainted. But you know what I didn't like about it also? Well, what I took away from him doing it is that he depended on the momentum of so many other rappers to make to have like a good album, like Karate Chop.
Well, he's not doing nothing no different than any other artist.
Kanye. I mean, then what other artists though? Like,
you know what though? I mean, sometimes I agree with what you're saying, but also I think it takes a certain amount of lack of ego to acknowledge like, yeah, this guy was better than me on a track. I'm gonna let him carry my own track.
Yeah.
But I agree with that.
But I feel but every good song on the album is like, not every good song, with the exception of shit. With the exception of shit and I don't know. Honest, yeah. I say with the exception of those 2 songs, every good song on the album is a feature. And it was just like, I want you to give me something.
Most of them.
I mean, my favorite songs on the album are Move That Dope, like Karate Chop, like, you know what I'm saying? Those are my favorite songs on the album, and Never Satisfied. He's good on them, that's what I'm saying. You can feel his energy. I feel like it's higher.
He works higher. I think he works good in a collaborative environment.
I think that's who he is.
That's what it is.
And I think that's the type of artist that Future is.
Yeah, I mean, like he sings hooks. Like that's what he does. Like, of course, his energy is going to be more prominent on tracks where he's working with someone. Like we've known that about Future, like since he started. Like he's the dude that he sings hooks, and when he sings hooks, people love that shit. You can try to not. But you're gonna dance to it as soon as you hear it.
But that's what I feel like that's what your LP is for. Your LP is for
to showcase you.
Yeah, to say that, okay, this is who I am, as opposed to this though. Like,
But I still don't think just because he featured most of the artists that he featured on there, he's overshadowed on the album. I mean, because
it's still his album.
Yeah, it's still his album.
Because the songs that were featured, they still sound like Future songs.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, if the Kanye track would have sounded more like a Kanye song, like, oh, that's like Kanye.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So all the features are still like, that's a song.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's only, and this is a good way to look at it. Like, to me, there was only one really bad song on the album, Covered in Money. I thought that was a shitty song.
And that's a single right now too.
Is it? See, I would have done that. But like everything else, I was like, okay, like I mean, and maybe that's not the best in saying, oh yeah, the song's good, but it's like it was a good album.
Yeah, it was solid.
It was a solid album.
I was not wowed for even 1 minute. I just was like, this is what Future's gonna give you. It's a pleasant listen. There's gonna be some tracks that I revisit, but there's no way that in 2 years I'm gonna be like yo, I turned on this Future. That's never gonna happen.
I think like I told Kelly earlier, man. I mean that's what you expect for Future. I mean, you don't go listen to Future album think you're gonna get some Kanye West, or some Jay, lyrically, Future is more like an artist for a club banger.
Yeah.
A club banger, state of mind, you better go to the club.
I think too though is he didn't, because he did it on Pluto, like the sequencing of the album, it just felt like a collection of songs. Yeah. Whereas I kind of wish he had made. That's where you kind of like the skits, or you like interludes. Yeah,
like a story.
He didn't have to make it. He didn't have to make it a concept album or like a story. But like, I would have just liked a little more, because you could just put random on and it's the same.
And it would sound the same. No, absolutely.
All right, so Suge Knight was on Arsenio, and Arsenio asked him about how he felt. Arsenio asked him how he felt about these current record deals that the labels are giving artists now. And basically, Suge Knight said that these are slavery deals, speaking on The Game and Kendrick Lamar's current deal right now. So, what do you think about that?
Fuck Suge Knight for saying some shit like that.
Hey, we in LA, bro.
Hey, I don't give a fuck. Come find me. I live in Orange County.
Be careful.
No, hey, fuck Suge Knight, because Suge Knight signed Tupac to a $1 million deal.
Yeah, to get him out of jail.
To get him out of jail, and he exploited him. And knowing what was gonna come from him to be, maybe he didn't know how big he was gonna be, but Tupac exploited the shit out of Suge Knight.
$1 million was big back then.
But that was a deal to get Tupac.
Yeah, exactly. Come on now. And I heard that Tupac signed Tupac's on like a piece of toilet paper or some shit like that. I heard it was super unofficial. He went back and said put the language into the contract where he pretty much took control of everything. So
and Tupac's back was against the wall.
Yeah.
He had to get out of prison.
He had no choice. I mean, talk about exploiting an artist. Come on now.
What I will say though is that doesn't that make Suge an excellent person to
comment on it?
How terrible deals can be.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's crazy too, because in the last 3 days, what's his name? Anthony Tiffith, CEO of TDE, he tweeted out, he's like, I'll sell TDE for $1 to Suge, because he's saying that's not true, that Interscope doesn't make any money off of their touring. So I mean, if he's gonna go out on a limb and say that, then I mean, I guess I got to take Anthony Tiffith at his word versus Suge, who has a history of, you know, doing holding Vanilla Ice out a window and threatening to kill Eazy-E and Jerry Heller. So.
But when you think about it, like when Suge broke it down, I was like, oh damn. When you think about it, because he signed a joint, Kendrick signed a joint deal between Interscope, Aftermath, and Interscope. So when you think about it, you know, you got. Everybody gets paid. You got Universal, which is the ship, and then you got everybody else getting paid under that. And Kendrick is the last one getting paid. And then you got to pay the person who did the production deal for the whole thing. And that's still before Kendrick getting paid. So I'm like, damn, that do make sense.
This is
because it's not that much money to go around in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn.
But this is exactly the sort of deal that TLC signed that got them, you know,
it's not that bad.
The thing is, like,
he's not getting a Range Rover for his birthday, but
no. The point is, everyone has to get paid before him, which is, you know, why, you know, we previously have discussed, you know, going the independent route and whether or not that's a possibility, whether or not that's beneficial or even better than trying to go label side. I think for example, in the article that we read to talk about this with Young Thug, he had created enough buzz on his own, I think, that it would have been wise to go independent. However, there's still a lot of infrastructure necessary to go independent. Like, even with Mac Miller, he had Rostrum Records behind him to, you know, we're an indie label, you know what I mean? Like, Young Thug is a dude on his own that probably has, like, a basement studio somewhere and homies, but not, like, the real infrastructure to push his music. So I can understand why he felt like he had to go that route.
And he's a young kid, so it's like he has that many contacts in the industry.
He's not thinking, you know, like, he's not thinking big picture, even long term. He's trying to get a deal and make records. So
it's kind of understandable. Only understandable for an artist like Young Thug, who's kind of uneducated and come from the background that he comes from, to sign a $30,000 deal like that, because
that's probably the most money he's ever seen.
Like Kelly said, like he's thinking about, like, shit, they give me $15,000 advance and I can use this. You know, that's probably the most money at one time that he's ever seen.
And he's probably thinking, I can pay my rent off with this. You know, I can, like, living expenses.
He's just thinking about getting out his current situation. Whatever that might be. So even though it's kind of unwise to do so, you know, because he already had a buzz, you know, before that. And then I was reading an article where they were saying that record labels got these tools that they use for Twitter when they can instantly, you know, recognize the artist at one.
Buzz.
Totally.
Yeah, they got these tools. So it was like, man, if he just would have waited out a little bit, you know, you know, he could have been indie getting all his money. Pretty much basically all his money.
And I hate to defend the record labels, but I mean, because I did a little bit of research, and I got to shout out digitalmusicnews.com, and they were saying how back in 1999, the labels made $14.5 bill off of recorded music, and it's down to $7 bill in 2012. So that's 50% loss in 13 years. So not to defend them, but I guess it makes sense why they try to do 360s, because it's like they're trying to scrape all the money. I mean, scrape's a bad word when
billions of dollars.
So it's like, and I think something to keep in mind too is bad deals. It's not a hip hop only.
No.
And it goes back. The Beatles had bad deals. TLC, The Lox, famously, you know, a bad boy. It doesn't matter.
Bad deals.
You know, I mean, it's obviously hip hop for us, but it's, you know, across the board, everyone.
And anytime you're a new artist, you got to renegotiate anyway, because you're a new artist, so labels, they're not going to take as much risk on you, you know.
No, of course.
First signing, so you kind of gotta.
You gotta make them earn it.
Right.
Yeah.